Okay, from atheist to Orthodox, right? That's the what is this thing here? Oh, that's the flag. Okay, it's looking strange. Atheist to Orthodox Part 2. I went back and looked at the first one I did. It's so strange to me. It's all rambling. I can't watch my videos. I don't know how you guys can get through my videos. It seems all to be rambling to me. I guess that's just the way I talk. That would make me a very bad liar, you know. So all these videos are true, honest at least. I'm going to clear up some things. Well, put them in a better statement, not correcting anything. So as an atheist, and this was no faith, no belief, and I can't say that I have the same belief now that I had before. Before I was trying to be Orthodox. I don't think I was. I don't want to be one of those people. Oh, I really would, but I really did commit apostasy. I really did terminate, say, screw you. That's it. Nothing. I always had a fear of death, fear of God. Didn't like the idea of judgment, you know. And I liked the Orthodox ideas, but they weren't really in my heart. And it wasn't until I threw all that away, which was a kind of a clearinghouse, a good thing, that I chucked everything in the garbage. There was no demands. There was no yoke on my shoulder. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. It wasn't like, oh, I'm free now. It was like, man, that part of my life was lies. Now I got to pick up. There was liberation in it, though. Read the Satanic Bible. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was great. I'm like, this is exactly right. Because it, you know, a lot of people, I guess, would say they're Satanists. You know, the atheists that like to walk around wearing black, who do these sick, perverted things, or try to, is not what Anton LaVey was talking about. It was, you know, it's written as a piece of showmanship in an extreme book, which is good. But it was kind of like Ayn Rand's objectivism, but it had ritual and ceremony in it that meet the needs of man. I thought that was great. The strange thing was I had already known the benefits of meditation. Okay, even as a secular thing. So I started doing the Tricyon prayers 3 times a day, facing east, lighting candles, bowing, reverencing icons. And I never took my icon corner down. It's I've got pictures of deceased relatives, and not only icons, pictures of deceased relatives, cards from friends, letters from people who have been deceased. Got the rose from my grandmother's funeral that happened years ago. The rose is completely dried out now. The rose that was on her casket. A palm branch that was, when I had it, was green with all the leaves and everything. Now it's dried out. It's still green though, amazingly. That there, and I put these things there when they were fresh, and now years go by and they're not. They're all dried out. Second to last cigarette. So I started doing sign prayers again just because it was a meditation, you know. And I started looking at everything, the whole world, and just all the. You can tell I like learning. The idea that our brain is not really a high-tech computer. There's something, some kind of quantum force that operates it. That it's not merely the sum total of its parts. When you move a chess piece, or when you do an action, you don't have to go through every single. Your brain doesn't scatter through every single move. It, you know, kind of knows. It already has these patterns or knows what to do. I mean, it's actively learning, and it already has a sense of itself. So it's a very strange thing. It's a computer that basically became awake, if you go from a materialist point of view. And a lot of the way nature seems to be pulling, evolution seems to, instead of being forced in one, it almost seems to be pulling, especially when we see breeds of dogs. I know this is strange. How can this lead to any type of spirituality? But when you breed dogs for the the most tame, you get this huge variation, in dogs. They did this with foxes in Russia, and they've been doing it for about 100 years, where they've been breeding out negative traits. And they see that once they start doing it, they get this wild variation in beauty. And it seems like beauty and compassion are a gentle, weak force, but they eventually override. It's like gravity. Gravity is one of the weakest forces in the universe, if not the weakest. But it has a great reaching arms. And that's kind of how God operates in my life. I don't look at rules and try to go, I don't, scurry about and think this judge is watching me. And just, it's like one day, all right, he kind of bombarded me, and then I realized, all right, there's God. I could acknowledge him, I couldn't. I could acknowledge him or not. I don't want to say couldn't. So I started doing it, and like, I'm not, and I told somebody, yeah, I'm coming back. If you think I'm going to come back to Christianity. But I didn't, there was still a large period of time that I didn't know, And I don't know if demons are real. That might be a psychological term. But just not a materialist point of view. Somewhat mystical view of the world, just because of just how you would have to have a mystical view of the world if you believed in a creator, unless you were a Gnostic. Then, whatever. And a lot of it was defeating the arguments, because I saw people like on here, the Council of Nicaea was, they put the Pope in charge, and then there was Roman Catholicism with purgatory. No, I mean, I was constantly correcting history, even as an atheist doesn't. People are just stupid; they don't know history, or Islamic arguments against Christianity, or Christian arguments against Islam. Like, I knew both sides, so just the ignorance and stupidity irritated me. Or these people promoting Gnosticism. It's like, hey, you're just stupid, crazy, or read the scriptures. Well, I read a book by this guy who's actually go back and read the actual scriptures of the religion first. Then maybe you can read commentary, but you're reading somebody who's 2,000 years after the fact writing about it with already an agenda and everything, and he's linking it in this because he's writing a book and making money. Those are the people you read first, and then you don't read. And this misunderstanding with Nicaea and a lot of early Christianity was just irritating. I'm like, all right, well, when you look at it critically, the oldest text that we have that we can date back is the Bible. It's strange to say, I'm not saying this as any type of propaganda, but as collected evidence, we have this, so we know the tradition was the same. I'm not saying this is any valid evidence for the resurrection or for the virgin birth, because if you want the other direction, the Talpiot tomb, so we dug up the dead body of Christ. Well, the religion of Orthodoxy seems to meet all mankind's needs, and even if it would evolve, religions would have to evolve, and they would have to, basically grow into something useful or die off. And Orthodoxy did that, as basically all religions do. But it seemed to have it all in one package. And it was able to stay that way as time expands, I guess you could say. But also a question was really driving at me. Say let's you have two apes. One materialist, the other, just driven by instinct, this and that. And one having this delusion of a god or a heaven or a spirituality. Why did the spiritually inclined apes survived better, and the other ones died off. Why at any time in human history didn't materialism pick up and the rest of everything die off? Even since, I mean, it's really a fallacy that atheism was the only option for the last 200 years or so. We can see Syriac writers, scribes from 500 BC. I don't know if it was Syrian or Assyrian. This is my memory writing about the heavens are empty, there is no God, this kind of stuff. You can look at the world and look at religion and say that's a bunch of BS. And we can even read in the Bible, the oldest copy of which we have the Dead Sea Scrolls, and in there it says, the fool says there is no God. So obviously there were people going around saying, no, there is no gods. There's no God or gods. We can see this in the Stoics and the Epicureans. So why didn't humanity take that route? Why is every time that you have an absolute atheist state, that you have slaughter and bloodshed, people say, oh, it's when communism comes in that you have the bloodshed. It's not atheism, it's communism. Or socialism in the case of socialist states that are atheist. I don't know if there really was one. I mean, you could say Hitler, a secular state, or if it was any religion, it was pagan, Norse paganism. Or the occultist Stara, one of those. But that kind of falls short when you see the French Revolution, which was before all these causes. You could say it's the font that communism springs from. But it had all the Enlightenment values. They were trying to be the most enlightened, and they turned into bloodshed very quickly. You had the Paris Commune, just turned into bloodshed. A lot of these type of states that try to spring up and stamp out, and there's been little communities and settlers that has happened. Tyranny. Because whether we like it or not, there's a natural need for God. Even if you're an atheist. If you're an atheist, a rationalist, a skeptic, you have to look and read what Freud said. He said it's ineradicable. Means it can't be stamped out. As long as we are this race, this species, we're always going to be planked. And just the awareness, the idea that, the dog is aware, the human is aware. This awareness that seems to permeate from humans. And if you believe, not that the soul is mush or nothing like the Scientologists say, but that you believe that the brain is an absolute receiver. I'm going to go into, this will be part 2, but there's going to be another part. Part 3 is coming up. Because I want to get into this more. And this is going to take longer than explaining Orthodoxy, trust me. Thank you. I'm going to clear up some things. Well, put them in a better statement, not correcting anything. So as an atheist, and this was no faith, no belief, and I can't say that I have the same belief now that I had before. My videos seems all to be rambling to me. I guess that's just the way I talk. That would make me a very bad liar, So all these videos are true, honest at least. Okay, from atheist to Orthodox, right? That's the what is this for? Before I was trying to be Orthodox. I don't think I was. I don't want to be one of those people, oh, I really would. But I really did commit apostasy. I really did terminate to say, screw you, that's it, nothing. I always had a fear of death, fear of God. Didn't thing here. Oh, that's the flag. Okay. It's looking strange. Atheist to Orthodox Part 2. I went back and looked at the first one I did. It's so strange to me. It's all rambling. I can't watch my videos. I don't know how you guys can get through